So let's talk a little bit about the chemistry of lotion since we are going to be making lotion. One of the essential things to consider is lotion has oil and it has water. So oil and water, why don't they mix? So this really comes down to an atomic level and it comes down to electric charge. So oil is nonpolar, and so that means it doesn't have any charge on an oil molecule. It is not attracted to water because it doesn't have either positive or negative. It's neutral. And water is polar. So water sticks to itself, but it doesn't stick to oil. So if you're trying to make lotion, which is water and oil, what do? How do you make that happen? And you have to have something, a substance that will stick to both things. And there are things out there that will do that. So an emulsifier will allow you to stick to the nonpolar tail and to the polar head. So the polar head of the molecule is attracted to water, and the nonpolar tail, the oil, is attracted to that. So emulsifiers, if, for example, you've ever made Caesar salad dressing, it's kind of the same thing. You use lemon juice and you use oil, and then you use egg, and egg actually will act as that emulsifier. We are going to use a different kind of emulsifier, but that is how it will work. We are going to use something called borax or sodium tetraborate. One of the things that's really crucial, and I will demonstrate how to do this for in-person students so you know exactly what you're doing, is if you don't measure carefully your water and your oil ratios, then you will end up with unbonded oil and water. And then it just turns out like you get a really weird consistency in your lotion. It'll like puddle up on top or be very strange. Also, if you add the emulsifier to your oil, then nothing will happen. It just you'll make a mess and it'll be terrible. It's very important that you pay attention to the steps and directions. Fragrance. So let's talk a little bit about how you're going to figure out fragrance. Humans can smell up to 4,000 different fragrances. It's pretty incredible how we do that. We learned a little bit about this from Luca Turin. So top notes are the first things that you smell. Those are typically citrus and florals. Middle notes are the second things. It's very often spicy things, dry wood smells. The bottom note is the most lasting smell. It's usually woodsy or musky, or like it's the thing that kind of sticks on your skin for the longest. When you're mixing a scent, you always want to add your bottom notes first and then move to the top. And you always want to add just a few drops because you can always add more. But if you add too much, you can't take it away. And always add the strongest scent. So some florals, lavender, for example, is a very strong scent, and it doesn't take a whole lot of lavender oil to get a lot of lavender smell. So if you are testing smells and trying to decide what you want to use, you really want to use the strongest smelling substance first and then kind of work your way up from there. Can you make a fragrance just using one thing? Of course you can. But very often you can get a whole lot more nuance and a whole lot more depth of a smell when you are mixing smells together. That's really the art and craft and magic and wonder of perfumery in general, which is a very cool thing to be able to do. And it takes a little bit of practice to figure out how to do that. I do have a demonstration video on how to make lotion, and I will also demonstrate it in person. But if you wanted to make it at home, you could watch this video and you could make it at home. This is a really simplified version of the lotion. It doesn't have that many ingredients in it that are easily obtainable. So feel free to try that out at home if you want to, and then we're actually going to do it in person.